Bhagavad Gita. Each integer is a dharma. Each integer is a dharma. Hello, friends, enemies, strangers, kind mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, all sentient beings. Indisputably one of the world's best known books, the Bhagavad Gita, embodies the quintessence, or is it quintessence, of classical Upanishadic philosophy, presented in the form of a dialogue between Krishna, the archetypal teacher, and Arjuna, the archetypal human being caught in the grip of a monumental crisis. For anyone like Arjuna has ever paused to ponder the meaning of life, the work is as relevant today as it was when it was written. So let's see, why is Krishna in a monumental crisis? First, let's start with the meditation on the Gita. Okay, there's a breakdown of the words in Sanskrit making up the first verse. See, it's got the word Om, Anusandadhami, I meditate, Tuam, on thee, Amba, O mother, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatim Ashtadasa Adhyayin, made up of 18 chapters. Advaita Amrita Varsinim, showering the nectar of Advaita. Bhadvesinim, that can banish all phenomenal becoming. Gratitam Madhye Mahabharatam, inserted in the middle of the Mahabharata, Vyasena by Vyasa, Purana Munina, that antique sage, Pataya Pratibodhitam, it was taught to Arjuna, by Narayana Swayam himself, Bhagavata, the Blessed One. And all together we could chant Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Varsinam Bhagavatam. The Amrita is in there. Advaitamrita Varsinim Bhagavatam. Ashtadasadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusamdadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhagavad Gita, and that translates to, or you could say, better yet, it can be interpreted as, I meditate on thee, O Mother. Bhagavad Gita, made up of 18 chapters, showering the nectar of Advaita, the Amrita of Advaita, that can banish all phenomenal becoming, which is inserted into the middle of the Mahabharata by Vyasa, that antique sage exactly as it was taught to Arjuna by Narayana himself, the Blessed One. And now here's the second verse. Namo Stute Vyasa Visala Buddhe Pulara Vindayate Patra Netra Jina Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnana Maya Pradipa, which can be broken down into these. Okay, I'll let you go over it real quick, and I'll highlight one of them. I'll highlight the second to the last. Jnana Maya. Jnana. Wisdom. Jnana Maya Pradipa. The wisdom lamp. And that translates to, salutation to thee, O Vyasa, of expansive intellect, having eyes like the petals of an open lotus, who has lit the wisdom lamp filled with the oil, which is the Bharata epic. And then there's the third verse. Prapana Paritaraya Totravitraika Panaye Yana Mudraya Krishnaya Gitamarta Duhe Namaha. So there's the breakdown of those words. Which it can be interpreted as, or translated to, adoration to Krishna, representing in himself that wish-fulfilling heavenly tree, brought within the reach of those who take refuge in him, as he, wielding the whip of the charioteer in one hand, and the wisdom teacher's gesture in the other hand, milks the nectar of the Gita. In verse 4, okay, I won't read it, except maybe note that Partha is another way of saying Arjuna. Okay. And these other two words, Mahat, great, Amritam, nectar. And it all translates to all the Upanishads are cows. Their milker is the darling of the cowherds. The calf-inducing secretion is Sparta. The drinkers thereof are all men of good sense. And what is milked is nothing but the Gita, the great nectar. And then this verse 5 says, I adore the world teacher Krishna, son of Vasudeva, the divine one, who overcame Kamsa in Chanura. It was Devaki's bliss supreme. Okay. Chanura. Kamsa Chanura Mardanam. Overcame Kamsa and Chanura. Mardanam. And this one says, when Kesava at the helm, with Keshava at the helm, and the Pandavas of yore crossed over that battle river, which the banks were Bhishma and Drona, and the waters were Jayadratha, whose black rocks were the Gandharas, with Kripa as its current and Karna as its wave. The crocodile wherein was Salya. The sharks Ashvatthama and Vikarna, and the whirlpool Durodhana. 7. What does it mean? It means, or it could be translated as born out of the limpid lake of the words of the son of Parasara. May such a lotus, which is even the Mahabharata epic, spread the fragrance of Gita meaning, containing numerous secondary anecdotes, which are its pollen-bearing anthers, opening the wisdom light because of having the story of Hari as its content of good teaching. Be for our everlasting good, as it cleans away the dross incidental to the age of Kali, as it is sucked day after day by the bees, who are none other than the good man on earth. The age of Kali. Let's see if I can spot it. I thought it would be Kali Yuga. It's Kali Mala Pradvansina. The age of Kali, the evil cosmic period of thousands of years. You know, 8. I adore Madhava, source supreme of bliss, His grace can make an orator of a dumb man and enable the lame to cross mountains. And 9. Mm-hmm. 9. 9 it says, he whom Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, and Marut ever praise with celestial hymns, whom the chanters of the Samaveda do extol with songs comprising the Vedas, together with their subdivisions, respecting word and order, not omitting the Upanishads too, he whom the contemplatives with minds merge thereinto, and establish that firm in meditation, can see, whose end is beyond the ken equally of gods and their rival spirits. To such a divinity I do offer adoration. So what happened here? So you could put it all together in this form. Meditation on the Gita. Om, I meditate on thee, O Mother Bhagavad Gita, made up of 18 chapters, sharing the nectar of Advaita that can banish all phenomenal becoming, which is inserted into the middle of the Mahabharata by Vyasa, that antique sage, exactly as it was taught to Arjuna by Narayana himself, the Blessed One. Salutations to thee, O Vyasa of expansive intellect, having eyes like the petals of an open lotus, and has lit the wisdom lamp filled with the oil which is the Bharata epic. Adoration to Krishna, representing in himself that wish-fulfilling heavenly tree, brought within the reach of those who take refuge in him, as he, wielding the whip of the charioteer in one hand and the wisdom teacher's gestures in the other hand, milks the nectar of the Gita. All the Upanishads are cows. Their milker is the darling of the cowherds. Thus, calf, inducing secretion, is Partha. The drinkers thereof are all men of good sense, which is milked. No, and what is milked is nothing but the Gita, the great nectar. I adore the world teacher, Krishna, son of Vasudeva, the Divine One, who overcame Kamsa and Chanura, who was the Devaki's bliss supreme, with Kesava at the helm. The Pandavas of yore crossed over that battle river, for which the banks were Bhishma and Drona. The waters were Jayadrata, whose black rocks were the Gandharas, which Kripa as its current, and Karna as its wave, the crocodile wherein was Salya, the sharks Ashvatthama and Vikarna, and the whirlpool Duryodhana. Born out of the limpid lake of the words of the son of Prayasara, may such a lotus, which is even the Mahabharata epic, spreading the fragrance of Gita meaning, containing numerous secondary anecdotes, which are its pollen-bearing and terse, opening to wisdom light because of having the story of Hari as its content of good teaching be for our everlasting good, as it cleanse away the dross incidental to the age of Kali, as it is sucked day after day by the bees, who are none other than the good man on earth. I adore that Madhava, source supreme of bliss. His grace can make an orator of a dumb man and enable the lame to cross mountains. He whom Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, and Murat ever praise with celestial hymns, whom the chanters of the Samaveda do extol with songs comprising the Vedas together with their subdivisions, respecting word and order, not omitting the Upanishads too. He whom the contemplatives with minds merge thereinto and establish firm in meditation can see whose end is beyond the ken equally of gods and their rival spirits. To such a divinity do I offer adoration. Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the yoga of Arjuna's conflict. This is the most critical, most impactful, the most what's the word? Dramatic? No. Cathartic? No. Traumatic? No. Debilitating? No. What's the word? Let's look at it here. What the word I'm looking for is. The most impactful. No. The most crisis elevated situation of the Gita of all time, maybe. No, this is the impressive beginning of the Gita as a story. But first, we need to know some things. We need to know some things concerning chapter 1. We need to know what the word yoga refers to. The word yoga in this chapter does not refer to a state of happiness, as should be expected from the definition of yoga in the Gita itself. A disaffiliation from the context of suffering. No, chapter 6, verse 23 gives that definition of yoga. No, doesn't mean that. Here it means even referring to agony or unhappiness it is still called a yoga. So in chapter 1, it's called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So Arjuna is the main character. He represents us. And Vishada means conflict. So that represents our conflict, my personal conflict. In yoga, perhaps in this case, yoga means the meditation of Arjuna's conflict. The topic at hand will be Arjuna's Vishada, Arjuna's conflict, Vishada. The agony of Arjuna is not the plight of a coward in the face of imminent danger. No, you might think it is, the way he's talking. No. So note the phases of his despondency, beginning with pity, proceeding to philosophical, religious, and humanitarian considerations, all of a very respectable order. Although Krishna smiles at Arjuna in disapproval, in the remaining chapters of the Gita, we find no contradiction of Arjuna's opinions. In other words, perhaps I would say, I'm not reading from here, but I'm thinking that Krishna does not really find fault or does not judge the way Arjuna is expressing his feelings. He accepts anything that Arjuna might throw at Krishna. He treats them as opinions, right? Everything is an opinion that is expressed concerning the conflict. So we will find no contradiction of Arjuna's opinions, but rather we will form a revalued statement of Arjuna's position in absolutist terms. So keep an eye on that. Well, we'll get to that after we read all 18 chapters. We will realize that Arjuna's opinions could be summarized in such a way that it will require a way of expressing it in absolutist terms. So what does that mean? Absolutist terms. We'll find out. The only possible fault of Arjuna's attitude lurks in the expression, my own people, Svajana, in verse 28, where he begins his arguments. So ancestor worship, the considerations of caste or clan, the non-hurting principle, and the principle of renunciation are not against the spirit of the Gita as a whole, but Arjuna thinks as a relativist in these matters, while Krishna teaches an absolutist revision of them. The first chapter is thus the only one which contains the problems of the Gita stated correctly before the discussion by the Guru Krishna. This chapter, therefore, requires very close attention, and yet, oddly enough, commentators, even Shankara, have almost ignored it, even treating it as superfluous. Shankara's commentary begins only with verse 10 of chapter 2, and he dismisses that which precedes it in a summary fashion not at all in proportion with the rest of his labors. The remaining 17 chapters of the Gita make an attempt to dialectically revalue the same problems as seen by a yogi. It is therefore very important not to leave unnoticed even those minor peculiarities of this chapter in which the author hides here and there certain indications for the guidance of the intelligent reader. This chapter is meant to indicate the nature of Arjuna's spiritual agony, which by the end of the chapter attains the status of a religious conflict based on sin. Arjuna's scruples are vague, but still have the strength and virility of a representative skeptic of his time. As the anterior prerequisite for the whole teaching to follow, Arjuna's conflict deserves to be treated as a yoga. So we need to go through this yoga as the object of our desire. No, well, maybe there is desire in it, but it's more like the identifying the problem, you could say. In troubleshooting, we must identify the problem. So here we're going to be stating the problem. What's going on? What's happening in Arjuna's mind, in Arjuna's life at this moment? What is on his mind? And it's full of dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, to the point that you could say he's depressed and doesn't know what to do. He needs help. He asks for help from Krishna. So the very first word of the Gita is dharma. Dharma meaning right life that is in keeping with wisdom in this case, which is to be set off against the merely historical actuality of the Kuru battlefield. The latter is to be revalued in terms of the former by the battle that is about to begin. Absolute necessity or urgency in the actual, with a capital A, has to be understood in light of the highest absolute sense of intelligent and normal living by Arjuna. He is called upon to be a man of unitive life without conflict, which is the life of a yogi. But can he do it? He feels like he cannot. He's going to be expressing his conflict, his crisis. He's in a real difficult situation. Have you ever been in a difficult situation? There's the first verse. So he says, Dhritarashtra said, in the field of righteousness, the field of the Kurus, gathered together, intent on battlefield. What did my people and also the sons of Pandu do, O Samjaya? And then the second verse, it says, Samjaya said, and so you could think of Samjaya as the journalist, the reporter, reporting to Dhritarashtra. You could say he is the general. No, he's the old guy in the story. That's you could say he's the old guy, and also the king of the country. You could think of as they wants to know what's going on. Maybe he's the godfather of the family, and there's going to be a battle between brothers, actually cousins, but they're thought of as brothers. It's going to be a civil war. It's sad that it ended this way, but after negotiation attempts, they ended up in this situation. So the army of the Pandavas is said in Sanskrit, Pandavanikam Vyudam. And Prince Duryodhana is stated as Raja Duryodhana. So that verse 2 can be interpreted as Sanjaya said, on seeing the army of the Pandavas in battle array, Prince Duryodhana, having approached his teacher, then gave utterance to the following speech. So there's a third character, Prince Duryodhana, approaching his teacher. O teacher, Acharya, look at this. Pasha etam, grand army, Mahatam Chamum, of the sons of Panda. Panduputranam, Yudam, marshaled by Tava, your Dimata Sisiena, talented pupil, Drupada Prutenya, Trita Dyumna. So that means, oh teacher, look at this grand army of the sons of Pandu, marshaled by your talented pupil, the son of Drupala. And then verse 4 is there, which means, more or less, here are heroes, mighty archers, equal in battle to Bhima and Arjuna, Yudhodhana, Virata, and Drupada of the great chariot. And this may be sort of a list of all the persons in the battle, or many of them, or the key players in the battle. Oh, and objects in battle, the conches, the sankhaha, Drums. Cha, derya, cha. Gongs. Panava, anaka, gomukaha. Were played. Abhyanyanta. Together, suddenly. Saha, saeva. That sound. Sah, sabdha. No, sa, shabdaha. Abhavat tumulaha. Made a confused clang. Abhavat tumula. Oops, sorry. My finger's in the way. Okay. Abhavat tumula. Made a confused clang. Then conches and drums and gongs, other drums and horns were played together suddenly. Boom, 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 boom. And that sound made a confused clang. Confused clang. How does a confused clang sound? Maybe it's discoordinated. Maybe it's mixed in, not harmoniously. And so it doesn't sound very pleasing, I suppose. Then, tataha, shtita mahati syandane, both standing in their great chariot, hayai yukte, in which white horses were yoked, madhava, chapandava eva, and Krishna, pradda, matuh, the two together blew, divyao, shankahu, their divine conches. So that means, altogether, and standing in their great chariot, to which white horses were yoked, Madhava and the son of Pandu together blew their divine conches. Now, verse 15. Let's skip the breakdown and read it, the translation. Sri Kesha blew Panya Chajanya, and Arjuna blew Devadatta. He of wolf-like appetite and deeds of enormity blew his great conch, Paundra. So Hrisikesha means Krishna. Panchajanya, a type of conch. And Arjuna blew Devadatta. And who is he of wolf-like appetite and deeds of enormity blew his great conch, Paundra. Maybe that's the enemy. Referring to the enemy or the person on the other side. Bhima. Verse 16. Let's look at this very briefly. And it goes over here and it says, Prince Yudhishthira, son of Kunti, blew Anantavijaya, and Nakula and Sahadeva blew together the Sugosa and Manipushpaka. Oh, there's all kinds of things that they blow. Maybe they're blowing trumpets and things. And then 17. And the king of Kasi, excellent bowman, Sikandin, great charioteer, Drishtadyumna, and Virata, and the unconquered Satyaki. What did they do? Kama, Drupada, and the son of Draupadi, O Lord of the earth, and the son of Subhadra of mighty arms from all sides. Each blew his conch separately. So everyone was in the festive mood of seeing who could make the most noise. So it must have been a tremendous noise of blowing instruments of different sorts. Maybe they were trombones, trumpets, saxophones, conches. What else could be blown? Well, they wouldn't have had saxophone. I'm just kidding. Let's see. And then 19. That loud blast filling earth and sky with sound pierced the hearts of Dhritarashtra's sons. Wow, it must have been pretty scary and loud. Louder than 4th of July firecrackers or 1st of January or midnight firecrackers. I'm at verse 20. Then beholding the sons of Dhritarashtra standing, marshaled in order, while the flight of arrows was beginning, the son of Pandu of monkey and sign took up his bow, semicolon, and, O king, he spoke thus. Here's what he said. Oh, so maybe he's talking about Arjuna. Yeah. Arjuna is, in this case, is in there somewhere. Vakyam. No, maybe he's named Aha Idam. Whatever his name is. Or maybe he's saying, and he spoke thus to Hrishikesha. He is referring to Arjuna. Oh, Achyuta, stop my chariot right in the middle of between the two armies. What? Isn't that dangerous? What are you? If you get there, they could shoot arrows and kill you. The other side couldn't they? Maybe they were stunned by his move. Anyway, verse 22 says, so that I may behold those standing eager to fight by my side in the present battle undertaking, and might observe those here gathered together who desire to please in war the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. So he's going to get in the middle so he can take a look at both sides. Sanjaya, let's see, 24, it says, Sanjaya said, thus addressed by Gudaseka, Hrisikesha, O Bharata, having stationed that excellent chariot right in the middle between the two armies, facing Bhishma and Drona and all the rulers of the earth. Krishna said, O Partha, behold these Kurus gathered here. What are Kurus? Kurus. Oh, soldiers maybe? It doesn't say. Then Partha saw standing fathers as well as grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, and companions too. Oh my goodness. So Krishna was pointing out, take a good look at who's on the other side. We saw fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, companions. Oh my goodness. They're family. So, in the son of Kunti, also seeing these relatives, fathers-in-law, and friends all standing in both the armies. So they were kin on both sides. So that's a dilemma, isn't it? A crisis. How did it get to this? Filled by a supreme pity, in mental distress said, beholding my own people, O Krishna, standing together, wanting to fight, my limbs fail and my mouth dries up. My body trembles and my hair stands on end. Oh, what's happening? What's happening? That's a weird bodily reaction. The bow, Gandiva, slips from my hand. My skin feels as if burning all over. I am unable to stand, and my mind is whirling round. And I see conflicting portents, O Keshava, nor do I foresee good from killing one's own people in battle. I do not wish for victory, O Krishna, nor kingdom, nor pleasures. What is kingdom to us, O Govinda? What is enjoyment, or even life? They for whose sake kingdom, enjoyments, and pleasures are desired by us are standing here in battle, having renounced their interests in life and in wealth. So they're standing here. They have forsaken all these things. They do have desires for these things, but they're standing here renouncing those things because they're in a battle situation. Teachers, fathers, sons, and also grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-laws, grandsons, brothers-in-law, as well as other kinsmen. These I do not want to kill, though they kill me, O Krishna, not even for the sake of dominion over the three worlds. How then for the sake of the earth? Having killed. Oh, my finger gets in the way. Okay, I see where my camera is. Having killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, what delight can there be for us? O Janardana, only sin would come to us after killing this marauding rabble. And so we ought not to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, our relations, for how, indeed, can we be happy after killing our own people, O Madhava? It's our own people. What's going on? Why am I in this situation where I have to kill my own people? Yet why should we not learn to turn away from this sin? We who do see wrong in the destruction of family, O Janardana. In the destruction of family, the immemorial clan traditions perish, and on the loss of tradition, the whole clan comes under the sway of lawlessness. When wrong ways prevail, O Krishna, the women of the family become corrupt. And when women become corrupt, O Varshneya, mixing of clans arise. The mixing leads both the family and the destroyers of the family to hell, for the ancestors fall when deprived of their offerings of rice balls and water rights. By these misdeeds, the destroyers of families, causing intermixture of clans, the immemorial traditions of clan and family are destroyed. Interesting. The translator, Nataraja Guru, has chosen for English the word clan. Tradition of clan. Kula Dharmaha. Many families whose clan traditions are destroyed. O Janardana, are destined to live in hell. So we have heard. Alas, a great sin are we engaged in committing, in endeavoring to kill our own people through greed for the pleasures of kingdom. It would be better for me if the son of Dhritarashtra, arms in hand, should kill me, unarmed and unresisting in the battle. What? Are you thinking of committing suicide? Yeah. So the reporter said, thus having spoken in the midst of battle, Arjuna sat down in his chariot seat, casting away his bow and arrow, his mind overwhelmed with sorrow, with dukkha, unsatisfactoriness. He's in a crisis, in a dilemma. And now we will stop here and we'll get to the dialogue next time, which is different from this dialogue. It's a dialogue between student and teacher, where this teacher may ask or maybe the student can ask questions. Yeah, like here's a question and here's an answer. It's a Q&A session between a generic teacher who knows what's going on and a generic student, could be us, who might ask such questions. So this is a study of the Bhagavad Gita in the form presented. He's the author of the commentaries. He's the commentator mostly, and presents a dialogue between a generic student and a generic teacher. So here's the guru that's guiding us through this book. So this is the guru in person, and this is the guru in text. So the guru in person, well, he's now a spirit, but we imagine that he's still our guru in the form of his commentaries in this book. Nitya Chaitanya Yati. And here's an image of him. There it is. Nitya Chaitanya Yati. Born 1924. I'm not sure what year he passed away. Maybe in the 90s. And his direct guru is Nataraja Guru, 1895 to 1973. And he was the direct disciple of the great philosopher, poet, yogi Narayana Guru, who wrote the Atmopadesha Shatakam. So he wrote the translation, but he also provided commentary, which the commentator also uses to form his commentation, his and things. And he was teaching this course on the Bhagavad Gita, and he was inspired to come up with the his commentaries and his in the form of Q&A between a generic teacher and a generic student. So there we go. This is the 1993 version, so it's all beat up. And they probably got it used somewhere for, let's see, maybe I can tell how much it cost me. It cost me a whopping $7. And I might have bought this, who knows, 8 years ago. So there it is. So I'll sign off at going over an hour. I hope you enjoyed this, and I do this for the benefit of all sentient beings, of all my kind mothers. Thank you, and I dedicate it to you.